What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video here today for another episode of my F1 2019 career mode here in the Racing Point. We're here today at Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix, episode number 18 I think this is, if my math's correct. And yeah, one of the most classic tracks on the calendar, definitely. I'm not going to argue that point. Very tricky track to get right as well, obviously coming up through the S's, easy to get it wrong. And obviously one of the most famous corners on the track, 130R, where Fernando Alonso famously passed Michael Schumacher of all people, clean around the outside as well. So it's been proven that you can pass around here, but you've got to have cooperation from the guy that you're trying to overtake. And as a lot of people would probably know, the AI on this game, sometimes they don't really like to cooperate with you when you need them to, so things might be a little bit awkward. So we're going to have to try and qualify as far up the field as we can, so hopefully we can avoid any incidents or anything. But practice went fairly swimmingly. We had a few little moments, most notably qualifying pace, as you saw right at the end there. We just lost it on that bump coming out of the final chicane, easy enough to do, mind you. Obviously, you've seen two drivers in real life do it. I think it was Kubica and Magnussen both did it there in real life. So easy enough to lose the back end of the car over there. So hopefully we've done it once and that can be the end of it. But anyway, I think that is everything. So without further ado, let's go get into qualifying.
Welcome to the only figure of 8 track on the F1 calendar. We're here at Suzuka for qualifying today ahead of the Japanese Grand Prix. And as we wait, poised for the start of what will hopefully be a thrilling qualifying, why don't you tell us, Anthony Davidson, about the things you can do to really get the most out of a car in a session like this?
Well, you're largely limited by the Parc Fermé regulations, of course. Back in the old days, pre-2004, you'd work on both a qualifying setup and a race setup over practice, and then swap them over after qualifying. So the race car was quite different at times to the qualifying car. Nowadays, though, you have to find a compromise that works for both. There are a few things that you can still adjust during the session, such as the differential, the brake bias, and the front wing angle, but that's about it. So it's more about optimizing what you do have and adapting your own style to suit the track conditions.
Alright, welcome guys to qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix. Decided to wait right till the end of the session, go out. I felt like our pace was good enough to get us out on one time lap. This has been a pretty decent lap, not many mistakes, and come across the line. This should put us in the top 15, and it does. We go P10 provisionally and cut forward now, and we drop down to P12. Perez though goes P1, so again the Mexican is just absolutely just mopping the floor with us in qualifying lately. So hopefully we can find some more pace. I don't know where we're supposed to basically find 1.2 seconds, but we'll see what we can do. So coming on it to the end of Q2 now, come across the line. Are we going to get into Q3? P7 for the moment. And unfortunately, we've been knocked out. Perez gets through up in P5. Showing what is capable in this car. So he seems to be really good in qualifying, but we can outpace him in the race. So bit tit for tat at the moment between the teammates. So bit unfortunate there. Shame we couldn't get into Q3. I felt like the car was definitely capable of doing so, but anyway, could just be a bad track. I think it is a pretty good track for the AI as well. Maybe a bit overpowered, maybe, but yeah, that's qualifying done and dusted, I think. Nothing else to say, so let's go get the show on the road. Let's go to the race.
Bad luck in qualifying. That's not exactly ideal. But there's no points for Saturday. Keep a cool head and make up for it in the race.
And a very warm welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix, an event that has decided a driver's championship 11 times over the years and has hosted some very memorable races as well. Who can forget Kimi Raikkonen's win from 17th on the grid in 2005, or Kamui Kobayashi's incredible drive to a podium in 2012. 18 corners make up a lap of the incredible figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit, with 10 to the right and 8 to the left, for a distance of 3.6 miles. Average lap speeds around here are fairly quick. If it stays dry, then expect somewhere in the region of 136 miles per hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Gasly, Kimi Raikkonen and Perez, Kvyat, Weber, Albon and Lee, Ricciardo, Bottas. They've taken a grid penalty. Devon Butler and Leclerc, Grosjean, Magnussen, Lance Stroll and George Russell. Norris and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
5 races remaining and you've still got a chance of winning the World Drivers' title. Let's grab a solid points finish.
Okay, so I didn't even realise we were still within a chance. Unfortunately, Jeff, I don't think we'll be winning the Drivers' title here in Season 1, not unless something dramatic happens. But, yeah, anyway, welcome guys to the grid of the Japanese Grand Prix. A couple of people with grid penalties, it looks like, so we actually end up starting at P10, which is actually probably going to help us out quite a bit because we are going to be starting on new tyres and we're effectively, well, we're in the top 10, so it's this could pay off for us quite handsomely, but we've still got to avoid any incidents or any stupid things that the AI might try. Obviously down into turn 1 seems to be a hot spot I've noticed for the AI going for stupid dives or trying to keep the nose in there or stick the nose in there, and it'll result in contact and either one or two cars will both go around. So be interesting to see if that happens at any point in this race here today. My personal guess, I reckon it will. If so, and between whom? Well, that's anybody's guess, but anyway, reforming back on the grid now for round number 17, episode number 18. I will make those numbers correspond eventually, so I am sorry about that, but anyway. But here we go, last couple of cars reforming on the grid. We've got to be a bit careful, we've got a Mercedes behind us, so that thing should be lightning quick off the line. But here we go, awaiting 5 red lights for the Japanese Grand Prix. And away we go. Held the lights for a while there. Looks like a pretty decent start. Ricciardo's got a real good launch. And there's Bottas with a really good launch as well. 3 wide in into turn 1, not quite. Still on the inside of Ricciardo though. Yellow flag behind us. I think someone may have spun out. We maintain P10. So we've maintained position for the moment. Ricciardo tried to hang around the outside. Nothing doing for our fellow countryman there. Right behind Alex Albon at the moment. Can we try and make a move on the tyre driver? Nothing going on for us coming up through the S's, but we get a real good run on him now. Round the outside, this is going to be awkward. This is not where you want to be. We back out and give him the spot. I did not want to be on the outside. That just never works going through there. But we're right under the rear wing of the Toro Rosso. Are we going to try send it in the hairpin? Yes, we are. Up the inside of Alex Albon. That's up into P9 now. Good drive traction, and there we go. Job done. So that's our first move made of the race, and hopefully we can keep moving forward. Cutting on to lap 2, back to the hairpin again. Lucas Weber is the next one that we're going to try and pass. Robert Kubica is out of the session as well. Not quite close enough to make a move on Weber, unfortunately, this time around. But we've got a reasonable run, but nothing doing for us again. Then into turn 1 and 2, we'll try sneak up the inside, maybe no. But it looks like there's a smoker up in front of us. Someone's had a major failure of some description. And it is Pierre Gasly in the Red Bull, and that has slowed everybody up. And then there's about a 5-car train ahead of us. So this has effectively turned into a battle for 3rd place almost now. Gasly is, well, he's out of the Japanese Grand Prix in quite astonishing fashion. A big engine failure, smoke billowing out of the back of that Red Bull. But we're not going to worry about that right now. We want to try and get this move done on Lucas Weber. We're going to send it up the inside into the hairpin now on our old F2 teammate. He leaves the space and we get the job done. That's up to P7 now. Next up is Danny Kvyat. We're going to go up the inside into 130. Oh my goodness, we just pulled that off. that does require a fair bit of commitment and cooperation on the AI's part as well to make that work. If Kvyat had tried to turn in there, that would have ended really badly, but thankfully we get through there okay. Next up is Kimi Räikkönen and DRS overtake Rich Fuel Mixture. Looks like we're going to try and pass him down into turn 1. Bit of contact between the pair of us now, and we're trying to go round the outside, and it looks like we've done exactly that. What a move on the fin. That was an awesome move. Cutting onto lap 9, we have a virtual safety car. There's 2 cars off down there at turn 1. That looks like a Mercedes, and it is Lewis Hamilton who has come into contact with somebody. Okay, so what is going on here? I think he was battling with Sebastian Vettel. We'll cut on and have a look at the replay, and it is a Ferrari. I think it is Sebastian Vettel. Lewis tries to make a move the inside the turn 1, and Seb just turns in, and the 2 rivals collide. Not the first time that's happened, and Hamilton comes off well and truly worse for where he's buried down the back of the order now. Sebastian still able to keep going. I think that's actually him just up the road in the lead there still. I'm not too sure, but wow, the two rivals come to blows here at Suzuka. Hamilton and Vettel make contact. Hamilton spins out, so a bit unfortunate for the British driver there, but anyway, getting back on with our race now, cutting on to lap 10. We're coming into the pits for a set of medium tyres. Bottas follows us in as well, so it's going to be a battle of the pit crews right here. Racing Point or Mercedes, who's better, who can get their driver back out first, hoping for a good stop from the boys. Soft tyres go off, mediums go on, and looks like we haven't been held, and we're just going to make it. That was close. We almost got beaten by the Mercedes pit crew then, but we just managed to hang on. Coming back out of the pits now, we're down in 15th, and that is Hamilton that's just in front of us as well. So that's how much time he lost. Lewis still needs to make a pit stop, and he's down in 14th. So his race is effectively over, I would say, barring any full course safety car interventions, but hopefully that doesn't happen because we're in a pretty good spot right now, and that would probably put us under a lot of pressure. But coming on to lap 12, fair few AI in the pits, and there goes Sebastian Vettel. There's Valtteri Bottas as well. So we've actually managed to jump quite a few people. Now we're up in P9. Max Verstappen is the next car up the road. Cutting on to the end of lap 12 now, and there's more AI in the pits, so this should boost us up some more positions. Now, right at the moment, I'm actually not too sure where we stand provisionally. Looks like now, coming along the front straight, now we're up to P4. Perez in front of us, and now we're up to P3 as we cut on to lap 14, so I think someone else must have pit. So now we're actually on the podium, 13 laps to go. We've got Sebastian Vettel right up our gearbox now. The Ferrari pulls to the inside, and with the superior straight line speed that Scuderia has got, it just blows past us on the run up to 130R. Can we try and fight back against the German? No, I thought about it, but it didn't seem worth it to me. Obviously, we get DRS coming down the front straight now, so we're going to try and fight back if we can. I think it's Perez and Verstappen actually going at it for the lead as well, which is awesome to see. Coming on to lap 17 though, Vettel quickly disappeared out of DRS, and now Valtteri Bottas is having a go and it sends it up the inside into turn 1, forces us off a little bit there. I didn't really appreciate that all too much, not going to lie. Now we have a safety car! Oh, so the one thing that I didn't want to happen has happened. We have a full course safety car here at the Japanese Grand Prix. Let's just have a look at what's caused this. There were yellow flags behind us. It's Lucas Weber and Kimi Räikkönen down into turn 1, and again, just like the Hamilton and Vettel incident, the car on the outside doesn't give two craps that there's a car on his inside, turns in, and the guy on the inside, in this case Lucas Weber, gets spun around. So a bit unfortunate for him, but we're going to take this opportunity now to come in. It'll be about 7-8 laps of racing left when the safety car comes in. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come in, put a fresh set of soft tyres on, and just hope that with a set of fresh soft tyres that it might give us enough of a boost to make our way back up through the order and hopefully maybe back to the top 5, because I'm not going to lie, I felt like if I stayed out we would have dropped outside the top 5 quite easily and probably would have struggled to even finish in the 10. So yeah, I didn't really think that was the right call, but Here we go, cutting on to the end of lap 19. Safety car is coming in. We're getting ready to go racing, restarting in P13, so we've got our work cut out. So we're going to have to try and nail this restart, and away we go. Looks like we're pretty close to Lucas Faber. He's got a bit of a gap over us though. Slipstream rich fuel mixture overtake on the ARS. Can we try and do something into turn 1? We're going to send it up the inside now into turn 2. We get the move done. That's an unorthodox move, not going to lie. It's not normally a place where you pass, but we got it done that time, and we're really going to have to try and make those types of moves here in these last 7 laps if we want to get back up towards the front of the field. More importantly, back up towards Sergio Perez rather. We can't afford to hang around behind these guys. Next up on our hit list is old mate Devon Butler, so hopefully we can dispatch this little prick as quickly as we can. Then into the hairpin. Now we're going to send it up his inside from a long way back. Just leaves us enough space. Soros coming at the last minute, and that is up to P11 onto lap 21. And we're going to send it up the inside to Charles Leclerc now. And that is up into P10. That was a bit of a late move, not going to lie. Charles did turn in, which he was entitled to do. A little bit of contact was made, but no harm done. Next up is Lando Norris now in the Alfa Romeo. That still feels so weird to say. We touch the back of Daniel Ricciardo ever so slightly, but that's round the outside of Lando. That's up to P9. Next up is our fellow countryman, Danny Rick. And that should put us up into P8. Perez with the fastest lap of the race a minute ago. And there's yellow flags ahead of us. Looks like there's been another incident. And that is, I think that was Sebastian Vettel. And I think he actually might be out of the race now. He's a long way off the track. And that's really, really weird to see. And he is! Sebastian Vettel has retired from the Japanese Grand Prix. What on earth has happened? If I had to guess, he's gone into turn 1 side by side with somebody and has probably, well, here's the replay, so this will probably explain itself. Trying to go up the inside of a Red Bull. I think that's Max Verstappen down into turn 1, and Max just doesn't give a crap, sends him in to the gravel, and that is Seb's race done and dusted. Looks like he actually got going again. And then he's actually parked it, so maybe some kind of internal problem there from Sebastian, but that's really weird. You can see he does get going, but at this point I think he's actually been disqualified, so I don't know, that's weird, but he gets going, and about 5 car lengths later he pulls off, and that is the Germans' day done here at the Japanese Grand Prix. Interesting to see if that Red Bull has any damage or not. But anyway, coming back onto our POV now, on the lap 22 into the hairpin, send it up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. That's a move for P7, job done. Next up, Danny Kvyat. This is for P6. This is probably as far as we're going to get, and we're going to try and make the move already, and we're not hanging around here. And that is the move done already on Danny Kvyat. Screw waiting for DRS or along the straight, we're just getting the move done right then and there. That's up to P6. And this is probably the maximum we can hope for. Alex Albon is a fair way up the road, but we cut on to lap 23. There's yellow flags behind us, and we've actually caught the tyre driver, believe it or not. Lewis Hamilton is out of the race as well, so the front runners are falling like flies. Cutting on to lap 24 down into turn 1. We're going to send it up the inside of Albon. He locks up and goes off. So, man, a lot of action in these, well, a lot of action since the safety car restart, really. And now cutting up to lap 24, we're making a move on Kimi Räikkönen into 130R. I think that's the second time we've made a move on the Finn into 130R today. But we made it work, we made it stick, and we're doing good. 3 laps to go, and that is a podium right there in front of us, Max Verstappen, getting on to the end of lap 25, and we've actually caught the Red Bull driver. So this is a podium staring us straight in the face. This could potentially be 2 racing points on the podium. Perez has checked out, he's going to win this race. But DRS overtake rich fuel mixture, and that is up onto the podium into P3, cutting on to the penultimate lap of the race now. And it is Valtteri Bottas in second place. Perez still leads the race. He's absolutely gone. He's absolutely disappeared. He checked out after the safety car restart. We set a fastest lap of the race though to get a little bit of bragging rights, just to take that away from him. I wanted that extra point. But as we cut on to the final lap of the race, through the final chicane now, it's going to be 2 racing points on the podium. Perez wins the race and gets the fastest lap. So awesome drive from the Mexican, but for us it's going to be P3 overall. Pretty happy with that.
Great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
and an incredible win for Racing Point. A brilliant performance. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
The Racing Point team will be very happy with today's performance and the final result. Another display of excellent driving and excellent teamwork, and a well-deserved first-place finish. It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. It's another clear win for Mercedes as they manage to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Meanwhile, Toro Rosso's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Alright, there we go guys, that has been the Japanese Grand Prix for career mode here today. First and third for the Racing Point drivers. What a result. I don't think we could have dreamed that, especially after qualifying, only qualifying down in P13 to come up and finish on the podium and Perez to win the race is, that's just absolutely awesome for the team. That'll do us a world of good for the constructors as well. So, man, what a race.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Strategy was pretty simple, really. Just drive as hard as we can, make decisive moves when we needed to, and we had a good car underneath us.
We all underestimated you, didn't we?
Well, you can argue the point. Yes, no, maybe. We'll just choose that one.
Devon did much better in today's race than he did in qualifying. Were you expecting that?
Look, I'm going to be brutally honest. I wasn't paying attention to what that little prick was doing because I don't care.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Thank you very much, Claire. And, yeah, that probably won't make us too popular with Devon Butler, but, well, he's a prick of a thing anyway, so who gives a rat's? But there we go, guys. That's been today's video. Japanese Grand Prix for career mode. A 1-3 for the team, and you couldn't really ask for much more of a perfect weekend, really. But I still just can't believe that. Like, what a race, and man, I'm really happy with that.
Just wanted to say congrats on the podium. It's thoroughly deserved. We were sweating those last few laps on the pit wall, but you brought it home.
Looks like one of your rivals is also going to an upcoming historical event. If you choose to take him on, it might help get your name out there a bit.
Alright, thanks. What's your name? Emma? Whatever your name is, I can't remember. We'll probably worry about those another time or a bit later on off camera. Obviously they're not really that important to me, but yeah, anyway, that has been today's video, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed round 17, episode 18 of career mode here today at the Japanese Grand Prix. And we're going to adapt our last durability part, and there we go, we're all set for the new season when it arrives. So there we go. If you guys enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe so you can stay tuned for plenty more. And until my next video, which I hope to have out in the next 2-3 days, I'll see you guys next time.